Hey everybody, it's Liz Boccolini. I hope you've been enjoying this year's Spring Spectacular. Today I have 5 games that have a springtime feel. So for me, where I live, spring is a very transitional type of time. The weather is kind of slowly moving from cold to warm. It can go very back and forth, and I love warm weather, so this is a challenge for me personally. But we're also seeing a lot of animals come back, hearing bird song after a snowy winter. So a lot of the games that I think have a springtime feel for me have to do with like plants, animals, gardens. But I'd love to know for you what games remind you of spring. So please let me know in the comments what you think. And as far as the order of the games today, they're in no particular order in terms of what I think of them or enjoyment. I'm not really giving them a number rating or anything. I really just picked 5 that, again, I think have a springtime feel, and I'm just gonna talk about them and not really give a comparison between them. So the first one I want to talk about is Herbaceous from Pencil First Games. And this one is about herbs. You are going to be cultivating herbs from a community garden that's available to everyone. And then you're going to put them in your private garden in the hopes of potting them. So you'll have pots that have different scoring conditions, and you're going to try to time when you pot the herbs, because once you put herbs in a pot, you cannot then add more herbs later in the game. So you're going to try to have to judge when you want to pot to maximize the number of points that you'll get for filling that pot. And this one is, I think if you like any sort of like card set collection game, you'll like this, and it's very easy to learn and teach. I actually learned it very quickly. I went to the booth at PAX Unplugged, and somebody there taught it to me very quickly, and it was really enjoyable and easy. And I just think if you, again, like set collection, or even if you just like herbs, you will like this game. And it just reminds me of spring in terms of things growing, and just plants in general remind me of spring. So that's Herbaceous. This next one is Village Green. This is from Osprey Games. And in this game, it actually is the first day of spring. You are representing a town that is trying to win the Village Green of the Year award. So you're going to be laying cards out in a 3x3 grid or tableau. And you're going to try to follow certain placement rules in terms of where you can place certain things in your green. So you might have statues, you might have lawns or ponds or trees, and you are going to be placing them in certain positions, and you're also going to be trying to win individual awards. And they're going to be lined up in your grid, and you're going to try to fulfill their conditions in columns and rows with the other cards to try to score those awards. Again, this one it's the first day of spring in the game, but just being able to get back outside in nice weather, sit outside on a lawn or see birds and things at the pond, just has a very springtime feel to me. And it reminds me of that movie Hot Fuzz, where the Simon Pegg movie, where the town is trying to win the award, and Simon Pegg is trying to do investigative police work there. And it's very funny. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. But overall, Village Green, I think, is a really nice tableau card game. Next, also from Pencil First, we have Floriferous. So this one is about flowers. So you are going to be laying flower cards out in rows, and then you're moving your pawn across different rows, collecting flowers or like flower arrangements. There might be like some garden gnomes and other things that you'd find out in a garden. And you're trying to score points. The scoring conditions in this game, you'll have some conditions that are available to everybody throughout each round. So there are 3 like days that you go through, and for each day you can try to score these different public scoring conditions. And then you're going to also be able to move your pawn to take individual scoring condition cards, and then you'll be collecting the flowers and such in the rows to try to meet those conditions too. This one is another one that I learned at PAX actually, and it's really, the artwork is so nice, like it's just pleasant. Again, Flowers for Spring I know is not incredibly groundbreaking, but it just has a really nice feel to it in terms of like, yeah, I'm building these flower arrangements, or I'm just trying to collect ladybugs, flowers with ladybugs, or tulips. And it's just, it's actually marketed as a calming, like a chill game. So actually in the scorebook, if you look in where it'll give you like the range of points, it'll say, okay, if you score, in the lowest range of points, whatever that is, you're anxious. If you score in this range of points, you're chill. And I think there are like 5 or 6 different descriptors, and you just get more chill the more points that you score. And I actually really like that. I think it's clever, and I think a lot of times we think of spring as like this big rush of, oh, I'm gonna do my spring cleaning and this and that, and it's a season of change and almost like upheaval, but in a good way. But I like that it's just flowers. Like it's just so pleasant and it's just calming. And again, if you like to do that sort of either set collection, or you like just a less a game that has less to do, right? There's not a ton to keep track of. So if you like that sort of thing, or you're just in a mood for something less tense, then Floriferous is definitely that game. Next, I have Wingspans from Stonemaier Games. I absolutely love this game. I know I said I wasn't like giving them a rating or anything. This one I think is one of like the first kind of modern board games I played when I started getting into things. One of my friends had just gotten it, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. It's like, who would think to make a game about birds, I guess, but we ended up playing it, and it's great. So you are getting, you get a board with different environments, and then you're going to be trying to place birds in the environment they live in, right? So they might live like in a water environment or a forest environment, and you're trying to place them accordingly and then activate like these bird powers. You are going to like roll dice to get certain foods. So they might eat fruit, they might eat little bugs, and they can hold eggs in like different type of nests that they have. They can hold a certain amount of eggs, so you're also able to lay eggs on the birds and hold them in their nest. I think a big appeal to this game, number one, is the art, because it's stunning and it's such high quality. I think the other thing that is so impressive about this game is that all of the birds, number one, are real birds, which you would expect, but the research that went into like drawing the birds accurately, getting their nest type there, the food that they eat, and like where they live, just every detail about the birds is so good and accurate. You can tell that the designers and the artists like spent the time and the effort to get this right. And I think that's so important, not because I want to learn about every single bird, but because it enhances the experience and it makes you appreciate the real effort that goes into a great game like this, of this quality. So just it is one of the best, I think, in terms of that research and that effort. If you like, again, like sort of not set collection, I guess, but if you like that sort of theme, or like cards and dice, I guess, you would like this game, I think. It is very spring-like to me because, like I said, this is when, for me, I start to hear like bird song again and see birds come out, see them building their nests. So to me, birds are always kind of a herald of like nicer weather, more sunshine, just springtime is coming. So that is Wingspan from Stonemaier Games. Lastly, I have Cottage Garden. This was designed by Uwe Rosenberg, and it's a game where you're going to be taking polyomino tiles, and then you're going to have flower beds that are your boards, and you're placing the tiles within the flower bed, the board, and you're trying to line them up so that you leave some spaces actually uncovered. So you'll have these flower pot spaces and these plant cover spaces, and if you leave them uncovered, it's a better scoring opportunity for you. So you're going to have to pick from the available different shaped tiles and try to place them on your board. Again, gardening, I think, is just springtime for me. A lot of people are planting flowers, they're starting to mow their lawn again, and just have things in bloom, either in the house or outside of the house. This one, I never thought that I would like a sort of like polyomino tile game because I never just personally thought I had a wonderful like spatial awareness skills. So I always looked at these games and was like, oh, I like wouldn't be good at that because I don't really like, I struggle to see the whole picture, how the tiles will fit, and then I'll just do terribly at this game and lose terribly. But I'm here to tell you, do not underestimate yourself, because I have grown to enjoy games like this. I think I limited myself and thought I wouldn't enjoy them, but they actually are really fun for me, even though I didn't think that I would be great at them. I like that you can even put little like cats, garden cats, in different empty spaces if you want to fill them up. And I just, again, flowers, gardening, everything about that is spring to me. And especially if you like that type of game, if you like Isle of Cats, patchwork, anything where you're trying to fit things together, sort of finish that puzzle, if you will, then I really think you'll like Cottage Garden, again, from Uwe Rosenberg. So if you like his games and you haven't checked this one out, definitely do. Those are 5 games with a springtime feel. There are tons more that I didn't mention in this video. So I want you to tell me in the comments, what is your favorite game that reminds you of spring? I hope you enjoy the rest of this spectacular. I'm Liz Boccolini. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.